like to do an acknowledgement of traditional lands. Royal Roads University acknowledges that the campus is located on the traditional lands of the Cossepsin, Esquimalt, and Lekwungen Songhees ancestors and families. It is with gratitude that we now learn and work here, where the past, present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. Welcome. And so today's session, just to make sure everybody's in the right room, it is Tourism and Hospitality Management undergraduate programs. And today is our program launch. So we're going to be talking all about our new 16-month option for our undergraduate programs. So with me today, I have Eugene Thomlinson, the school director, Moira McDonald, program head for the BA in International Hotel Management. I have Dr. Brian White, program head of the BA in Global Tourism Management. And my name is Moira Angus, and I'm an education specialist. In addition, we also have Tracy and Alana, who are our enrollment team. So they'll be monitoring the chat. They'll be there to answer any questions, and they're very knowledgeable about enrollment. We also have Nancy here, who will be supporting us with anything tech related. And today's session, as you can see, this is the agenda. We're at the welcome and get to know one another part. So thank you for popping in the chat where you're joining us from and what the weather is like. We're then going to dive into a brief overview of the Royal Roads University experience. We're going to talk about the program-specific information around our new 16-month option and application process and requirements, and then questions answered throughout. And we're also going to have question and answer at the end. So if we don't get to the questions in the chat during the session, we'll have them at the end as well. So we are located in Victoria, British Columbia. Now is actually a great time to practice the reactions feature. If you've been to Victoria before, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't been to before, but you really want to come visit, give us the heart emoji. Okay, so we have one person so far that's been here, one person who'd like to come here. Thank you for sharing that. Well, hopefully everybody has a chance to visit. Victoria, British Columbia, we are in Canada and we are on Vancouver Island. The closest large cities are Vancouver, which is just a ferry ride away, as well as Seattle, which is also a ferry ride away. And our top three industries in Victoria are advanced technology, tourism and hospitality, and education. And we are one of the mildest climates in Canada, about 6 degrees Celsius on average in the winter and 25 degrees in the summer. Like if it snows here, we're all shocked because it doesn't snow very often. You can go for bike rides, hikes, walks almost any day of the year. And here are some images as well. So the top left is Hatley Castle. You might recognize it from movies such as X-Men or Deadpool. We have a legitimate castle on campus and it's beautiful. You can see it from almost anywhere on campus. And it overlooks the Esquimalt Lagoon, which is the bottom left there. So we have a migratory bird sanctuary that our campus overlooks, and it's a beautiful place to go for walks. You can see in the top right, our Japanese garden. We have a expansive garden on campus that you can wander through if you're wanting a study break or just to get some fresh air, as well as a bunch of hiking trails. So there's really a lot to do on campus and it's a gorgeous location. And here at Royal Roads, we've been teaching and learning online for over 25 years. So you might be here wondering why explore Royal Roads University. So we see life as a qualification. So we understand that every single person in the room today is coming to us from a different background, a different career. And that's what makes our cohort so special. And that's what makes our program so special is we understand that and we acknowledge that. And that adds richness and diversity to our programs. We're also really big on first names first. So the profs here at Royal Roads, they get to know your name fast. You're more than a student number to us. We really care about your journey here. And also learning based on life. So we understand that you're bringing so much different knowledge depending on your background. And when you're here learning, everything that you're learning, you can pretty much apply the very next day. So there's not that division between theory and practice. It's all integrated. You're learning and working and applying everything as you go. And you're going to build connections for life with the cohort model. So what I mean by cohort is you're coming together and you're learning with a group of students and going through the program with them. And we'll talk more about what that looks like, but you're going to make connections that you're going to keep for life. So we were built differently here from day one. So we'll get more into that. We're also a Changemaker campus at Royal Roads University. So you might be wondering, like, what does it mean to be a Changemaker campus? So the Ashoka U Changemaker campus designation, it recognizes colleges and universities that have embedded social innovation as one of the core values. So here at Royal Roads University, we believe in leading and empowering others to lead positive change in the world. And now I'm so pleased to hand it over to, who am I handing it over to? Eugene. Okay. Welcome, Eugene. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Moira. If you want to go just to the next slide. Just wanted to talk to you briefly about why you want to study in tourism and hospitality in general, and specifically why at Royal Roads. I just popped in, and some of the headlines you can see that are coming up, especially as we move closer to this post-pandemic environment. The employers around, especially British Columbia, but across Canada and around the world, are really looking at wanting to bring in more employees, bring in more of these fantastic people to work in the industry. Just as a quick point, I just came back from doing some work in Mexico for the university, and all across these resorts in Mexico, they were crying out for employees as well. So it's really, it's time for the industry to come back, and to come back strong and fast. And that's where being skilled up at Royal Roads in the different programs is so critically important as the industry moves up. And it creates so many more opportunities for you. Next slide, please. In all of these different areas that you can go into through the International Hotel Management degree or the Global Tourism Management degree, not only does it prepare you for hotels and restaurants and those areas of tourism and hospitality that a lot of people immediately think about, but all of the other areas you can see on the screen here. Things like, managing casinos, working in museums, sporting events, special events, everything like that, the spa, fitness, health, even areas that you might think are a bit removed, such as the healthcare industry and that sort of thing. Those tourism and hospitality skills you would learn here at Royal Roads can set you up for a vast array of different areas within the industry. So that's one of the reasons why we're so excited about our programs here at Royal Roads. But of even bigger excitement for us, and hopefully one of the reasons why you're either tuning in live or watching this webinar after the fact is, next slide, please. It's introducing a brand new program where you can do your hospitality or tourism completion degree in 16 months. So for those of you looking for a specific timeline, you would be registering and starting your courses in September. So hopefully September of this fall. I'd really like to encourage a lot of you to sign up as soon as you're done watching this webinar. There's your call to action. But by the end of December of the following year, so by December of 2023, you are done with your Bachelor of Arts in International Hotel Management or your Bachelor of Arts in Global Tourism Management. So 16 months, you've completed that degree. Next slide, please. So as you may know, we currently have a 24-month or essentially a 2-year undergraduate degrees in the hotel management and the tourism management programs. So this 16-month is something new that we're introducing today. Just to make some differences, to show you what's the difference between and why you might want to choose one program or the other. To begin with, some of the similarities. They're both delivered here on campus. So you get that incredible face-to-face experiences working with not only your cohort, your classmates, but also with the incredible instructors that we've got here at Royal Roads. Both programs include internships, and the internships that we do at Royal Roads are paid internships. So working with industry, already getting your foot in the door in the various areas of tourism and hospitality. It's also the same cohorts. So whether you're doing the program in 16 months or 24 months, you're still meeting many of the same people. So, which is a terrific experience. You're still getting all of that multicultural experience with students coming from around the world, all studying and all interested in that same area. Now for some of the differences though. If you're in the 16-month, of course, because you've got all of these courses that you're trying to complete in that 16 months, there isn't a summer break. So instead of having a summer break, you're doing your internship during that following summer. The 24 months, you can either be doing, taking a bit of time off and working, or you could decide to do your internship in the middle as well, but you do have that opportunity for a summer break. The 24-month as well, as you'll see in a little bit, we have many different opportunities for you to do an international exchange. However, because of the number of courses that you take in the 16-month, you wouldn't be able to do that. So the 24-month, if you're looking for international opportunities, these exchange opportunities, definitely go with the 24-month. For those of you that might be interested in the 16-month though, you're through that much quicker. You're out into the industry that much quicker. So again, like I mentioned, by that following December, you're looking for your full-time career already, and you're out into industry. The 24-month gives you a little bit more time to integrate, to really think about the courses that you're taking. And finally, with the 16-month, those of you that might start into the 16-month, if you were to decide that you want to take that little extra time, maybe take advantage of that exchange opportunity, you can actually shift from the 16-month into the 24-month. So there is that opportunity to make that shift in that direction. Next slide, please. And just as a very quick point, I know some of you are already asking questions in the chat. If you have any questions, definitely put them into the chat, ask away. We're more than happy to stop and answer any questions as we go. And I believe Brian and Moira and others are already starting to answer some of the questions. Specifically, thinking about what are you going to experience in our programs. Next slide, please. Just as a very quick overview, and then we'll get into the specifics of the two programs with Brian and Moira. Very quickly, medium-sized classes. So what do I mean by that? Your class sizes tend to be in that sort of 20 to 40 students range, depending upon the class, depending upon the course you happen to be taking. Enough to make it interesting, but not too many that you get lost in the class. So as Amara was mentioning earlier, the classes are small enough that we get to know all of you and that you are a part of this real dynamic experience. We're very applied. So again, as Amara was mentioning, and as you'll hear from Brian and Moira, our students are not just working on theoretical ideas and the possible things. In our classroom, you're actually dealing with real issues, with real problems on sometimes individual projects or team projects. You're going out of the classroom and you're meeting with industry or working with organizations or individuals, and actually solving real day-to-day and problems that our industry are facing right now and into the future. There's many international opportunities within Royal Roads that we'll talk about some of these exchanges and these collaborative online international opportunities as well. And then the career development that you get with our career and learning development group, as well as the various internships that you're doing. But enough for me. I wanted to hand it over to, I guess, initially to Moira and talking about the International Hotel Management Program.
Beautiful. Thanks, Eugene. I just love everything you're saying. And you're talking about the comeback. Hi, everybody. My program, the 4-year BAIHM, is also 4 years for international students. You can get the 4-year degree and then degree completion if you already come in with the credits for the 2 years as in a diploma first and come into 3rd year. I just wanted to put in Kickstart the Comeback, what Eugene was talking about. Brian White and I just attended a fantastic conference. It's annual, and this was the first time we'd been together in a room with all of our colleagues in the BC Hospitality Association and the Tourism Industry Association of BC, and it was in Vancouver. And we were that was their hashtag, was Kickstart the Comeback. There were a tremendous amount of so much energy and enthusiasm in the room for that comeback. And their deputy ministers, people on stage telling us about trends that have occurred, things that are happening, how much education plays a big role in this comeback, and looking to our educated students to lead the way. So that leadership was very prominent, the conversations around leadership. I just wanted to put in a couple of links for you and give you a few links to keep or look at later. Here's the one for right in your hometown, Lorianne, is the Hotel Association of Canada. They have a lot of details there for you to look at. Also on the screen, you'll see some great photos of our recent graduates doing amazing things. Looking at Alec in the middle there, he's actually greeting our students on one of their internships. This Alex here at the Union Club, so he's managing it and bringing in our students for more engagement. Here's a Facebook link for you for the Tourism Industry Association of BC, and you could also look at TIAC for Canada to get a feel for what's going on with what Eugene was mentioning. In your program with IHM, the hotelier space is in need of great leaders, and to continue to help our students use the finance, analytics, design thinking. That internship Eugene talked about is so important between our 2nd year and our 3rd year if you're coming as an international student, or between the 3rd year and the 4th year if you also wanted to do an internship at the end, or in between your 3rd and 4th year if you're joining us in the 3rd year. Those are placements that are very powerful, and you end up just making so many friends and meeting new people and being part of a great organization of hoteliers, many of whom teach you. So we do have those industry experts as your instructors, and they fill our beautiful building here. We're just up the road from Hatley Castle, a nice walk along the path past the library, and everything is open and lovely as you're walking through, and you can get to this building that we're in. Our building is filled with industry experts teaching our students, so it's very an exciting time. We have competitions for students to really get a full university life experience, as well as in the class and outside the class. So we have students competing in, I'll give you the link, in something right now called Map the System Canada, and quite a substantial competition that students chose to participate in. So the international hotel management students are in that, as well as the business students. So the BBA students are in it also. We also have a wonderful opportunity for you to compete in the Young Hotelier Summit, which takes place in Switzerland, and that is a competition among all of our hotel students, and they will be down to 4 people we give to the folks that run it in Switzerland, and they pick 2 students and they go overseas and compete in this challenge. It was virtual this year, and last year our students that were there were getting up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. to be a part of it. They didn't stop. They were competing. One of our students whose teammates were from Germany and Finland and University of Texas, and I think a Canadian university as well, they got voted the team with the most spirit. So that is something we hadn't seen before. So well done for them. All of these moments could also lead you into research in the hospitality industry. You could be looking for research grants because you do have a very robust academic life here as well. And we have a lot of fun. And our graduates are now hiring our students. And this cycle is just beautiful to see. And back to the Kickstart the Comeback, this is where we are right now. And we have a great lineup of courses, and the options to finish in 16 months puts you into the opportunity to work for the winter resorts here on the island or elsewhere. Very close connections with our Center for Learning Development so that we make sure that you have that full student experience. So if anyone wants to speak to me about that later, if you're watching this afterward, you're welcome to reach out. And I'm going to hand it over to my great friend, Dr. Brian White. He and I were just in Vancouver, as we mentioned, and Brian's going to talk to you about the Global Tourism Program. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Moira. The Global Tourism Management Program is a program which has had tremendous amounts of success over the last several years. It's a program which has many things in common with the hotel management program, but also specializes across a wider range of employment. If you take a look at the pictures here, you'll see that we focus across a wide band of opportunities within the tourism industry, all the way from some in hotels, but many of the people here are actually in management positions running everything from transportation companies through to tour operations. And I think that's one of the critical things about this particular program. If people are coming into it with an interest in managing and looking at different kinds of opportunities internationally as well as nationally, you've got great opportunities here and a wide perspective on what you like to deal with. Once again, the same as Moira has mentioned, we're looking at a cohort-based program, and the cohort-based program has to do with the building of friendships which last a lifetime. So I think that's a critical piece here. I'm looking back at people who are now in very senior positions who went through the program, 10, 15 years ago, 14 years ago, and they've moved up, mostly because they've got a quality degree. So you're getting the wide range of opportunities in this program to continue your career and build it, and also build it internationally. It isn't just a matter of working in Canada, although of course that's our major focus. You can also apply and move up elsewhere. For international students, having this kind of qualification is a great cachet and a great benefit if you wish to stay in Canada and keep working here. And I think that's an important element for all of the programs which we offer, whether undergraduate or graduate programs. So paying attention to the opportunities that we offer and where you want to go in your life, those kinds of things make a big, big difference in terms of your choice about what programs you wish to take. Either one of the programs we offer here provide that scope. They provide an opportunity to move forward and to move up the ladder. And also you have the opportunity to come back and take a master's degree later on. And we're certainly seeing a lot of trends in that direction as well. Tourism and hospitality are industries which are professionalizing. It's professionalizing partly because of the pandemic and the squeeze in terms of available workforce members. We occupy a position which is at the supervisory management level and eventually executive level. But everybody in the industry, whether in hospitality or tourism, has to have had the experience of doing frontline work. And so our focus very much in the field studies that we do, particularly in this program, have to do with how people deal with that frontline opportunity. It also has to do with your capacity as a leader and a manager. So being a leader and manager in this field is important in the sense that you have to encompass and support a workforce which you want to hang on to. There's been a lot of turnover in this field. A lot of people have left, but it opens up great opportunities for those who wish to go into senior positions and management positions fairly quickly. And with our 16-month program, it allows you to get into the industry and move up faster than if you went through the 24. So you have a choice between the two. Depends what kind of experience you're looking for and what kind of opportunities you see for yourself. Another point, which I think is important, has been stressed both by Eugene and Moira, is the international connectivity here. So people will go all over the world. They may go back to their home country, but they may decide to travel and work in different locations. And that's certainly been a trend among our graduates who have come out of here. So you can move, Canada's a big place, right? So you can move across the country, but you can also go overseas and build those relationships from there. And this is a very interconnected field. Tourism and hospitality, excuse me, is very much engaged with maintaining those connections overseas. So this is something you can expect, whichever program choice you make, in coming into this field. The other thing is our faculty members are widely experienced. They've done a lot of stuff, both in country and out of country, and they can give you those connections and tips and opportunities as well as learning just on your own and from each other in the class. So when you're in a cohort, you're known. We get to know our students, we understand who they are, and we try to give them as much support as we can. There's a lot of very enthusiastic and passionate faculty members here, people who really care about what they do. I've done it, in my case, I've done it for many decades, but it's encouraging to come to work and feel enthusiastic and positive about what you're doing and about your relationship with the students, faculty, and the staff who are here. And by the way, I just want to throw in a word for the staff. Our staff here are really, really engaged in the process of working with you. So they're there to give you support and assistance and help. And they're also very often on field trips with us, right? So you need to know about that in order to recognize that we work as a unit and as a collectivity. We tend to be very democratically organized, both within the student population and also within the staff and faculty. So just be aware of some of the benefits that you get when coming to a place like Royal Roads. They're very substantial. Having taught at several different post-secondary institutions myself over the years, I can honestly say this is the place to be if you're a student or if you're a faculty or a staff member. So thanks very much. So I'm going to pass it over. Is Eugene picking this up or who's next?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brian. And thank you very much, Moira, for the discussions about the specific programs. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of applied learning and out of the classroom experiences. So we'll have you going to, well, especially now that hopefully we're in kind of in a post-COVID world. When conferences and special meetings start coming back, Brian and Moira mentioned that they just came from a BC tourism industry conference that was over in Vancouver this past week. So all of these opportunities, we will go to these with all of you and get you exposed to all of the industry leaders to introduce you to all the opportunities and possibilities. And not only having you introduced and be a part of them, but also being a part of the organization and the running of these different organizations, things like Comic-Con here in Victoria, British Columbia. Next slide, please. As both Moira and Brian have been talking about, there's lots of opportunities as well for international exchange opportunities. Of course, this is more for those of you that are looking at the 24-month opportunity. But even those of you in the 16-month opportunity, what ends up happening with all of these international exchange opportunities, and next slide, please, in these locations in Europe, but other locations around the world as well, and we are getting more partners all the time, that even if you don't go on one of these international exchange opportunities, students from these different institutions will come and study with you in the classroom. Because while we're sending our students out, students from these different institutions are sending their students to us. Again, just broadening the international experiences that you get and the various types of people that you get to interact with, and start creating those bonds that Brian was mentioning that help you not only now while you're studying with us, but into the future, because of just how tightly knit the tourism and hospitality industry tends to be. Next slide, please. Both the 16-month and the 24-month programs have, or options have, internships. And those of you that wish to do your internship or your work experience in Canada, there's lots of opportunities, but you also have the possibility of going anywhere around the world. We don't provide these internships for you. We have lots of connections with various industry partners in that, but we don't create a reason, or there's no regulations that set where you can do your internship. So anywhere around the world, as long as the job is applicable, you could end up doing your internship. So, you know, it's just a very quick point, and wanting to put her on the spot because I like doing that. Moira, can you think of some of the more interesting locations that your students have had internships in?
Well, sure. Thank you. I'm excited to talk about the luxury brands that can pull you anywhere you want to go, because they offer the internships as part of their programming. So you have almost a program inside a program. So the internships can take you anywhere that a Fairmont Hotel and Resort, Accor, would be, and they would take you anywhere that the giant Marriott hotels are. They can take you to any location that they have the most hotels and different brands. And so it really, anywhere you put a Marriott or a Fairmont or any of their associated brands, you can go. So we've had students take advantage of that and really pick and choose where they wanted to be globally. When the students are in their fourth year, which I think is a slide or two to come, you'll see the spaces for where to take your internship. There are students who have chosen home countries in Asia, Africa, Australia. Once the exchanges were put up for Australia, our students decided to stay there and do internships, and all across Canada. So if you have a student who's come to learn in British Columbia, but they may be from Eastern Canada, sometimes they're very interested in learning in Alberta. So they've taken a big internship at Banff or Lake Louise, or positioned themselves in Northern Ontario or Northern British Columbia, or gone into research grants and found internships that have suited for a particular area of the world that wanted help, and use that as part of their internship. So it has, I see all the pins on this map, and it's really substantial. We could start putting some pins in South America now as well, as we've got quite a few students from South America that have gone back to do internships there as well. So I appreciate the question. Thank you, Eugene. So when you're in your second year and going into your third, we love to coach and help and be a part of all of that as well. And you stay with us in British Columbia in that second year internship. So we've had students all over the province and the island to make those friendships and create those networks and that career engagement. And then when their fourth year comes, sometimes they choose to go somewhere else, or they choose to stay with where they know. So all of those opportunities have been quite global. Thanks very much. I hope that answered your question.
Very much. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. Sometimes you feel like music from
Sorry
Jeopardy
about
playing.
that. I was so excited to click next slide. I ended up opening up the map so I could see all the internships on my screen. So I was pressing the wrong button. Back to you, Eugene.
No worries. So here's just some of the things that you'll come away with from the undergraduate degrees. But Brian, you were mentioning that you just came back from the Tourism and Hospitality Conference. Do you want to just briefly mention again some of the places where our graduates are ending up, some of the different areas?
Certainly. It was fun to actually reconnect with a lot of people after being stuck on Zoom and online for so long. I reconnected with one of our graduates, Rihan, who is a senior manager with one of the regional tourism organizations in British Columbia, as a regional tourism development project manager. And he gave me a very good update on all of the different projects which he is currently doing. There's a couple of others there that I was pleased to meet up with. Because of my background, actually, I also teach I've taught for most of my time, well, all my time at Royal Roads, I'm teaching the master's program. So many of the people I was talking to there were people who were graduates out of the master's program, but there were some other folks who were undergraduates. So what I saw was people going into regional tourism management positions, 2 or 3 of them. And the other thing is I see people going, there's going to be a big uptick in outbound tourism management opportunities, and also in inbound, people coming to British Columbia to experience different kinds of tourism opportunities. The other place where there's a really substantial growth is in places like Whistler. I talked to one person there who's got a very good quality position there working for the ski area. So ski areas are no longer about skiing. The person I talked to is actually focusing in the summer on mountain biking. So you can follow your personal interests and activities into this field really well. I have a background of all things in river rafting because of my background in outdoor recreation. And I see a lot of people involved in doing those kinds of activities and using that as a key focus while they're in their 20s and 30s, and then moving into senior management in their 30s and 40s. And I see this as a pattern time and time again. The major thing to finalize in terms of the people I talk to and the people I've talked to over several years at conferences is the opportunities allowing for flexible employment. So you can move ahead, you can change from one area to another. Particularly if you have a background in the tourism area, you can move around. You can move from one particular theme to another particular theme. And you can make that as a lifetime project as you work your way up. Once you get the degree, you are seen in a different way by people in the field, especially if it's an applied degree like this, because it gives you that knowledge and background and expertise, and also the practical skills which people are looking for in the field.
Thanks, Brian. Next slide, please. So coming into the program, what are some ways of doing it? Some of you might be coming straight out of your high schools and that sort of thing. For our international students, click please. So entering our program and doing the year 1 of the complete 4 years here at Royal Roads. Click next. Some of you might be coming in for completing your degree. So you've either got work experience, I believe Moira will be talking about in just a moment, or you've got a previous degree. So coming into the International Hotel Management or the Global Tourism Management Program, whether it's the 16-month or the 24-month. Next. And as Moira mentioned, there's these opportunities for internships. Those of you that are here for the full 4 years, between years 2 and years 3, 4. Again, click. And as part of the International Hotel Management or the Global Tourism Management Program, again, whether it's the 16 or 24 months, there's also an internship opportunity there. Next slide, please. And soon, we will have a full 4 years for our domestic students as well. Right now, years 1 and 2 are only for international students. However, we are bringing out in the very near future the full 4 years for domestic students as well. So keep your eyes open for that. Next slide. This is just a sample of some of the different institutions that we have transfer agreements with. So if you're coming from any of these institutions, both across Canada and around the world, we've got agreements that will make it even that much easier for you to come in. If you don't have, if you're not from one of these institutions and there's not a transfer option, that's not a problem either, because our admissions people are very well skilled and they will guide you through the process. So, you know, whether you're at these different institutions or not, we look forward to seeing you in our programs. And I'll hand it over on how you actually do that. I'm not sure if Moira is taking that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Moira. Thank you, Brian. That was so informative. And I'm going to talk about how to apply, but what I wanted to mention is right now, feel welcome to pop questions in the chat, because all three are watching the chat and we'll be able to answer, and we can also do a question and answer at the end. So feel welcome to pop those questions in the chat and we'll do our best. So how do you apply? At this point, it's an exciting time, right? You're ready to do the program. So we have standard and flexible admission. And I wanted to mention that when looking at our admission, we do it case by case. So if you're not sure whether you're flexible or standard, that is okay. Everybody's application is looked at. So for standard admission, we have all this information on our website. And I'm mentioning that there because I know this is a lot of information to kind of see which one you fit into or what applies to you. So it is all on our website so you can see what works for you. But for standard admission, 2 years or 60 credits of post-secondary education in university transfer or diploma program in areas such as hospitality, tourism, business administration, or equivalent. And 24 of the credits need to be at a second year level with a minimum B average. And in addition, 400 hours of tourism or hospitality related work experience, and a post-secondary financial accounting course with a minimum grade of a C, and that's for the international hotel management only. For flexible admission, considerable work and experience in the hotel and tourism industry, preferably 5 years of mid to upper level professional experience, a post-secondary financial accounting course with a minimum grade of a C for the international hotel management as well, only reviewed on a case by case. And I want to stress that again, because I know I'm just listing all these different requirements, but if you have any questions about whether this is the right fit for you, don't self-select out. Please connect with us, talk to us. We're here to support you. Tracy and Alana, our enrollment team, are so helpful in figuring out if this program is the right fit for you and if you have the right requirements. So reach out if you're unsure. To keep going on the flexible admission, so it's reviewed on a case-by-case basis, and a solid academic writing skills are required for success in this program. So English composition course focused on academic writing and critical thinking is strongly recommended. So here are some key dates. So the 2022 intake starts September 6, 2022, so that's this fall. And the application deadline is June 6, 2022. So that's the deadline for the application. You can start your application now and submit it. You don't have to wait till the deadline, but that is our upcoming deadline for it. And we do have our information coming soon on the website about the 2023 intake. So keep your eyes peeled on the website, and we always make sure that our information is added there too. So how to apply? It's really easy. I've recently applied for a program, so I actually can say that it is pretty simple to go through the application process. I do recommend checking out our website. We have this like how to apply guideline, and if you follow it step by step, like your goal, you've got all the information you need and everything you need to submit. So the first thing you want to start with is starting an online application. So you do that on our website. There's a small fee of $128 and some change, and that just starts up your application. In addition to applying, we do want supporting documents because, as I mentioned, we care about your work experience, your history, kind of where you want to go with your career, your why, and that's included in your supporting documents. So that looks like things like official transcripts. So any previous post-secondary education or certificates or programs that you've taken, we'd like that sent to us from the institution in a sealed envelope or from the institution by email. We also ask for a personal statement, which honestly was my personal favorite part of the application, because what it's all about is your why. It asks you questions like, why are you taking this program? Why do you want to be in this program? Where do you want to go with this? And those are things that are important to reflect on. So it was just kind of, you realize, yes, this is the right fit for me. So personal statement, a writing sampled. We also ask for a detailed resume. So that detailed resume is more than you would use to just apply for a position. We want to know all about you. So it will be more than a few pages, but it's all about information like your past work experience, any professional memberships or affiliations, all of that good stuff. And we have all that outlined on our website of what we'd like to know. And 2 letters of reference. And a pro tip for the letters of reference is I would recommend writing your personal statement first and then sharing it with the people that you've asked to write your letters of reference. And then that way they can know your why for the program and can make sure to highlight that while they're writing your letter of reference. So if you have any questions about this, you're welcome to pop them in the chat or feel welcome to connect with us later. And we do understand that education and going to school is an investment. It's a big investment. It's a worthy investment, but it's an investment. So what that means is we have our financial aid office and awards specialists there to kind of help you navigate different types of resources around financial aid. So things like loans or awards or scholarships or other funding. So while you're applying for the program and while you're going through that process, reach out now. Ask them what kind of available options there are for you, and we also list them on our website too, so you can either set up an appointment or just see the available resources on our website. And if you have any more questions about anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us. For if you're a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, you can reach out to learn.more@royalroads.ca, or if you're an international citizen or a temporary resident, you can reach out to learn.more.international@royalroads.ca. And now we're going to jump into questions. I know we have about 5 or so minutes left, and I've seen a lot of different questions coming in the chat here. And Moira, I see your hand up, so I'm going to pass it over to you right now, and you can jump in.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to mention also that the Government of Canada has research grants for students to apply for, to use in, they may apply it towards tuition as well. So just that great slide you had on financial assistance. So things like the MyTax research grant, we had a student, BA, I'm just putting MyTax in there as the word, but I can get the link to, got a $6,000 grant and did research on sustainable practice in the hotel industry, and worked with one of her assistant or her associate faculty, her part-time instructor, who was a GM of one of the downtown properties. And so these things are available as well. When you dig into the Government of Canada, you can see that there's a lot of hope that our students will bring, some real light into those climate action plan spaces. And you'll see the climate action plan on the Royal Roads website as well. And so all of the sustainable development goals that we work with and teach through in our programs as well, whether it's an entrepreneurship program or it's something that's more specific to organizational behavior, consumer behavior. These things are all available to look at with the courses. You might see a research grant that ties right to your course and your learning. So just wanted to throw that out there because we do have quite a bit of success with that, with the help through our research office as well.
Thank you. So one of the questions I saw in the chat, and we've answered them in the chat, but it's also good to have them on the recording too, so people listening later will know what the questions were. And one of them is, may I take an offer to visit the institution? So if somebody's interested in visiting Royal Roads, is that something that we offer?
Definitely. As we mentioned as we answered in the chat, but to get it onto the recording, please contact us beforehand so that we can be sure to be available. And if we can, and as Brian was mentioning about the staff earlier and about how fantastic they are, if they have the time, they will show you around the institution. They will show you around the campus, but definitely meeting up with all of the instructors, with the program heads. One of the nice things about Royal Roads is that you do have access to everybody pretty much. So, if Moira isn't off organizing other things and she's available in her office, she's got the time to chat, and Brian as well. Myself being here on campus, we don't create these artificial barriers between the students and between the faculty or staff. So we are available to meet pretty much at any time. Again, just please let us know beforehand so we are available.
Yeah, maybe I can chime in on this. The place works as a learning community, right? So if you come here to visit, you're invited in. In many cases, it's fine to sit in on a class, for example. I've had that happen a few times, just to get a sense of what it feels like and to maybe meet some of the other students who are in the program, because you can learn a lot from them when we're not around. If you can go and have coffee with people like that, right? And find out if we're telling the truth or not. So, if you give that a go, as Eugene says, let us know well in advance, and we might recommend a particular day that you can come and visit, because there might be something exciting or interesting going on that we can actually share with you. Okay, so that's a really important thing, and just to get a vibe on what the place feels like, because it's so different than other institutions. It's very, very significantly different. It's got strong values. As a university, we have strong values and beliefs, and we express those. You can find those on our university website, and we try to live by them. And so it's something that, if you're going to have a memorable experience for education, you want to start out with a visit which gives you a sense of where you're going with it. So yeah, please visit, come and see us, no question.
Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Brian. So we had a question about this. If somebody isn't able to come to campus, do we have an online option for this program or a blended? And I know the answer, but I'm posing the answer to you, Eugene.
At the undergraduate level, we do not have a strictly online offering yet. And I really want to emphasize the yet, because we are working towards it. So there is that thing that we do want to build up towards an online offering. But at the graduate level, there is a completely online option for those of you interested in the Master of Arts in Tourism Management. So we now have two offerings. We've got a strictly on-campus version and a strictly online version of the Master of Arts in Tourism Management program as well. So there is an immediate graduate opportunity and a hopefully future undergraduate opportunity. And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I'll just chime in on this one. It's ironic. We just went through a couple of years of being online, okay? The undergraduate program, because that's how we kept going. We know how to do it. We've had, as it was mentioned earlier, we've got 25 years experience in doing online education. So it's not it's not that much of a reach for us. What's ironic is that we developed the on-campus programs as a unique experience for Royal Roads, a few years ago, right? There wasn't that many on-campus programs, and we were one of the pioneers in developing it. So now we're moving to a situation of providing both program options. But, these things take a little while to get established. I would like to point out, although it's on campus for the undergraduate programs, we are now having at least one course per term online as part of being on campus, which gives a little bit more flexibility for students, particularly those who wish to work in the industry while they're here.
Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Brian. And so we're coming to the end of our session today, but I wanted to share a quote that Eugene wrote in the chat that really resonated with me about our programs. And he basically said, at this point, the possibilities are almost endless. They are more limited by our imaginations than they are by opportunities. And I wanted to share that because that really feels like that lands with our programs, and that is what they're all about. So thank you all for joining us today. If you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to reach out. We are here to support you, and I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day.